Bang.
Isn't she lovely?
Hey, I watched that. Wait, no, that's
Isn't she wonderful?
Brad Pitt is
she
precious.
F1? Yeah. So you did watch Friendship.
I did watch Friendship. Did you see my review?
I didn't
did.
watch Friendship.
I did. First of all,
Does it make sense though?
I want to talk about your review, but I do just want to welcome. It's
Yeah.
Movie Time Podcast, episode 20. I'm Seth. This is Landon. This is Jackson. We have an awesome episode today. But Landon saw Friendship. He gave it 3 stars. And his review was, I think this will be funnier looking back on it than I thought it was watching it. What's funny is when I read that review, I was with Zoe and I go, this review actually makes a lot of sense because I literally, no joke, 30 minutes later had made a joke from Friendship. And she asked me, she goes, have Landon and Jackson watched that yet? I go, I don't think so. And then I went to Letterboxd. It was literally the movie you had just watched. And I go, see, it's a movie you make jokes about later. But in the moment, it's kind of like, is it really that good?
If I would have been in a theater, I feel like it would have been a bunch of like awkward laughs. Like, oh, did he really
like
just do that? Did
yeah.
this really just happen? And not like bad things. It's just really the whole soap thing. I'm like, that was so bad.
That's the one I make jokes about all the time. I go, I'm putting soap in my mouth. I was a bad boy.
Yeah, that whole time I was like, oh, dude.
Jax, you and Allie need to watch it.
We'll watch it.
Because I think that you would think it's pretty funny. It is funny, but it's like, with Tim Robinson, I think his humor is humor that like in the moment you're just like, oh. But then when you look back, you're like, that's actually pretty dang funny.
Yeah, I need to add it to my list.
That works.
Yeah.
But no, welcome back. Guys, episode 20. That's kind of crazy.
That is kind of crazy.
Another milestone. That's 5 months.
That's the craziest part. 5 months is crazy.
5 months. We would be entering almost our 3rd trimester if we were pregnant.
Facts. Luckily, Seth's not going to be a dad anytime soon.
No, because
he practices safe sex.
Well, I don't have sex.
Facts, yeah. Well, that's safe sex. No sex is safe sex.
Abstinence.
Yeah.
I'm abstaining from sex. Thank you. I don't like that my voice cracked on the thank you. Judge, can I get a yes, please? But we just got back, guys, from one of the most fun, exhilarating, exciting movies that we've seen probably all year.
Except Landon didn't like it.
Landon hated it. That's the way we should start.
I gave it 4.5 out of 5. And you want to know why?
Yeah.
You want me to tell you why?
Yeah, but wait, we are talking about F1 starring Brad Pitt.
Yeah. Fucks one. Yeah. Because that movie fucks.
Yeah. Okay, Landon, hit us.
Look, everything was, I don't know. The cinematography was great. I think the performances were awesome. My biggest thing, okay, Hans Zimmer cooked. Okay? But the
course he
soundtrack
cooked.
itself, trash.
No,
like
there
it.
were a couple
I like
bangers
it.
in
We
there.
Will Rock You, dude.
Well, that doesn't count because it's like the original soundtrack. Those, like,
Oh,
you had
the
that
original-
Roddy Ricch song where, like, they were about to race, and I'm like, this one kind of goes
That one
hard.
goes hard.
But then you listen to it later, and you're like, without the context, this song sucks. So my biggest thing is they needed better
I like the
original
Tate McRae
songs.
song.
No, get out.
Of course you did.
They needed no. Don't even try to say that song was good. They need better like original songs for this.
You
Because
know
if
what?
I'm sitting in here, look at the Fast movies.
The Fast movies
They've
have
got some-
banger songs,
they've got banger
bro.
songs.
And then you have
But they've got Ludacris
but like-
in the movies.
So, but let me ask you this, okay? Because what's better, Dangerous by Haley Steinfeld or the Tate McRae song? from
Dangerous
F1?
by Haley
Dangerous,
Steinfeld.
yeah.
I told you, it's a banger.
It's not
literally one
though.
of the
It's
best
not a
songs
banger
of all
though.
year.
It's not a banger though. But Tate McRae's bar is so low with that song,
Dude.
that like I could make a song right now and it would probably be better.
My thing is I think
That's actually not true.
if you're gonna bring in like the original songs to try to get people hyped for the
Yeah,
race,
like an original
if they're
soundtrack.
gonna suck, leave it out and just let Hans Zimmer cook.
No, but that Roddy Ricch song kind of went crazy in the moment. But I
In the
wouldn't.
moment,
Yeah, but
but
I wouldn't listen to it
Go back
outside
and
of it.
listen
But
to it
But
now,
I think
and you're
that's
gonna be
fine.
like,
But I think with an original soundtrack, like I do think there is something to be said, like with the Roddy Ricch song. I do agree with like a lot of the music. Like it's kind of like this. It kind of takes you out in the sense of it feels like a teen pop movie almost. Like it feels like Karate Kid did.
Yeah,
with
Karate
their
Kid was
music.
5 stars too.
5 stars.
But
Agreed.
Karate Kid knew what it was.
Exactly,
and it played
exactly.
Into
But
that.
F1 is such this like elevated action movie. It'd be like if Top Gun Maverick had a Tate McRae song in it, literally, right? But of course, in Top Gun Maverick, we get that Lady Gaga song that fudges so hard. I do agree with you. So is that why it loses the half?
For
star?
me, it's because like looking back, like I want those moments. If you're getting geared up to race, and the best song of the whole thing for that was "We Will Rock You" that came out however long ago, which is used in every movie.
What was the first song that plays like right off the bat?
Hey, but look, every song gets people hyped up differently. Like going back to Gran Turismo, what was he listening to before his races? He was listening to ABBA.
Oh, that's sick.
Was it ABBA?
But also, do you guys
Enya.
remember
Enya, that's who he was
that
listening to.
soundtrack? Gran Turismo soundtrack? Well, I guess it's not original songs, but like when they play Big Jet Plane, the remix of it, when he's in the car.
Dude, look, racing movies get me
Jet,
hyped.
So hyped, dude. Get me in the cockpit.
I'm over here thinking, like, should I just sell my house and get my car legit and just go street race?
You probably
Probably
shouldn't
not.
know.
Think of how cool that would be, though.
That would be cool, but you shouldn't.
I'm going to be the Creed of F1. Get me in the cockpit at 28,
Give me
first
them
race ever.
keys. Dude, here's what I'm trying to say, though, okay? Okay, wait. I want to hear more about your thoughts on F1. I always plow past. So the
No, you're
soundtrack.
good. I think-
Redux the
I
Star.
think
What
that
did
was-
you really love about it?
My favorite thing was when he was like flying, and it gave us that like
Yeah,
point
that
of view
shot of
on
just
the
on the
front
front
of
of-
the car.
yeah.
I'm like, this is what I want.
Yeah.
I felt like in the IMAX, I was like, I'm in this car.
Well, I cried at that part.
I was like
Like, we're
leaning
moving.
forward in my seat, like, oh, yeah.
Well, and I'll tell you this. Movie's actually pretty funny, too.
I laughed multiple times out loud. Javier Bardem, one of my favorite actors right now.
He's so
Every movie that he's been in over the last couple years, just
Well, not to
banger
mention-
after banger.
And they haven't even been his best movie.
No.
No Country for Old
No
Men.
Country for Old Men.
And then he just keeps getting.
Yeah.
like,
Have
he's
you
so-
seen that, Land?
No,
You got to watch No Country for
because
Old Men.
someone forever goes like the ending is the worst thing ever. And
No,
I
it's
was
actually
like,
pretty good.
okay.
I didn't think I was going to like that movie, and if you remember, Seth called me out on it one time because I gave it like 2.5 stars
And
or
he was
whatever.
like, I gave it 2.5 stars, and he went and changed it.
went and changed it because that movie goes crazy. The weapon that he uses too, and in that movie, Javier Bardem is just so like,
Scary.
yeah,
He's quiet.
intimidating.
He got like that bowl cut looking.
Yes.
How much is the most you've ever lost in a coin toss?
Yeah,
Dude,
he's good.
here's all I'm trying to say, though. Okay? Brad Pitt, sexy, dude. He is so sexy. But that's not the point.
But also, Damson Idris is sexy too.
Oh,
like,
no, don't get me wrong, dude.
yeah, bro.
I would bite me a piece.
Would you make out with Damson Idris
For what?
if he was gonna put you like 2 minutes in the next movie that he's in? But like 2 minutes of like screen time, you have like a 2-minute dialogue.
Like a 2-minute monologue. And I have to make out with him for how long?
2 minutes.
Oh,
10 minutes. No, 10 minutes.
Yeah.
No, 2 minutes for 2 minutes.
Are
no,
you
no, no,
not?
no. No, 10 to 2 is the scale. So if you want 4 minutes, it's 20-minute make
Oh,
out.
dude. Give me damn 10 hours.
10,
Put me in the
that's
next
like put me in
6
the
movies.
the whole series.
Put me in the next 6 movies, dude. Look, here's my thing. Is kissing guys really that bad?
I don't
if
know,
it
never
gets
done
you
it,
in
but-
the movies.
If it gets you
who
somewhere.
who was it in an interview?
Still Pride Month, bro. Don't.
No, who was it? Who was it? They just had an interview recently who
Oh,
said,
kissing guys is not bad. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, if you're straight and you kiss a guy, as long as you're getting something in return.
"No, I know that, but who was it who in an interview said, I'm an actor. Of course, I've had gay sex."
Oh, don't know.
Like literally, like a
Seth
week
in 2
ago.
years. After I've risen through the Hollywood ranks,
I need to figure. That
I'm an
out.
actor because I had gay
Oh,
sex.
you want to know who it was? Tom Hardy.
Oh, Tom Hardy's the best.
Yeah, in an interview, like somebody asked him, and his response was, "I'm an actor. Of course, I've had gay sex."
He's a king.
With Venom.
We love Tom Hardy.
Love Tom Hardy, dude.
Tom Hardy's best movie?
Probably Warrior.
Yeah.
Yeah, Warrior, and then maybe what, Inception?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Peaky Blinders.
Peaky Blinders, the TV show is incredible.
Yeah.
His best performance is definitely, I think, Warrior. He's so good in everything, though.
He is.
I really like that Havoc film. Okay, no, but I was giddy. I was giggly. They can attest to it. Like, the whole theater could probably hear me. Like, at the most, like, basic ass, not funny times, I was so excited. I just couldn't help but giggle.
I
Dude,
think the
I'm over
very-
there. Oh, go
I was
ahead.
gonna say the very first like race. As soon as the car started going, you just hear Seth. I was like, what?
The one thing that I did wish that they did better was make it louder.
I think I think that's just a problem with the theater not turning it up loud enough.
I wanted those
I
cars
wanted
to
to
rattle
feel it,
my
dude.
seats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because if you remember when you saw Top Gun Maverick in that IMAX, you felt that shit.
Yeah, that's what I wanted from the cars.
So
like every time a car passes you, I wanted it to like shake the theater, and it didn't.
Yeah. So I think next time I see it, or when we go see it again, I'm just gonna hit up the people. I'm gonna be like, hey, can you actually turn it up another one, just because the volume it hasn't been loud enough. Because I do think the movie, it's clear. Like, that's the thing, is the theater gets like certain instructions for sound, but it's still like, I'm like, it had to have been louder, because it was loud, but it wasn't nearly loud enough.
Yeah.
That's what I'm like seeing Interstellar in that theater compared to that
yeah.
was like just
Dude.
Well, even Gran Turismo wasn't even in IMAX, but I
No, it
still.
was.
Oh, was it? Did we
Yeah.
ever see it in IMAX?
That's how we saw it, the
Oh,
three of
yeah.
us. I saw it before that with Kevin, but then we
Oh
all
yeah,
saw
yeah,
it
yeah.
in IMAX.
Well, because I remember the cars in that one were loud too.
Loud.
Like when they were driving the GTRs in the training facility, and every time they started the engines, I was like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah.
get me going."
Well, and facts.
Yeah.
Well, and one of my things about the movie is, as I was watching it, I was like, the movie's beautiful. Movie looks great. The story, I was trying to figure out how I really felt about the story. Because there isn't much of a story. Like, there is, but it's like basically like Brad Pitt plays an F1 driver who crashed back in the 90s and it like ruined his career, but since then he's just gone from like race to different, like, to being a gambler, to all these things, to being a taxi driver, like, and then it's basically Javier Bardem owning an F1 team and being like, I need you to come help us win.
When they raced together,
And they raced together back in F1.
what I loved. So okay, never mind. Keep going.
No, and I think I was like, it's a good base, but like the story itself, like, really it's more character led. Like, it's definitely Brad Pitt, and remind me his name again?
Damson Idris.
Damson Idris. He is so good. And the way they play off of each other, phenomenal, dude. Like, they're both so good. The scene when Brad Pitt pushes him and he's like, I will knock your teeth out. I'm like, I want you to.
And then the way that he smiles it off and
Yeah.
laughs it off and walks away.
Yeah, dude.
I'm like, oh, you little piece of
But also, there's one scene in this movie too that is genuinely like, it like kind of shakes an audience to its core. And we saw it with Zoe, my girlfriend, and you could hear her when this particular scene happens. The theater goes quiet, and she goes, "Oh no!" Did you guys hear
Yeah.
that? She's like, "No." I was like, "Dude, it's good."
So good.
The movie. Yeah, Jax, what do you think? Like, what are some of your thoughts?
I think I read a couple reviews before we saw it, and all of the negative reviews were about the actual like plot line. And I understand how you could like want for more, but also it's an F1 movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, what more could they really have done with that storyline
Yeah.
to like make it better?
Yeah.
You know, like there's a love interest. There's
And the love interest works.
yeah, the love interest works great. There's a friendship and a new friendship, and there's just like camaraderie. Like, I think it has everything that it needs to be a good story, but it's like I just felt like they couldn't really have done much more with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, unless you're planning on continuing a series, then you could have added more layers to it to like continue to progress.
Yeah.
But for the one movie that we're getting from this, I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I also loved how they brought in actual F1 races. Like, because I've watched a lot of the F1 Netflix series, which is fantastic if you want to just turn on a show and watch. It's really fun to watch. And like a lot of the crashes that you were watching in the middle of the race were actual F1 races. Like there's the one race where the two cars on the same team, one of them goes over his back tire. That's a real, like that really happened. And I leaned over to Landon and was like, that's sick because that's an actual race, like footage that they pulled.
Yeah.
And then just incorporated this new storyline into it. And it had a lot of the F1 drivers in it. Yeah. It had
Lewis Hamilton was in it. Also an executive producer.
Yeah, which I didn't know.
Which is sick.
Which is super cool. It also had a couple of like the F1 pit crew like heads. I can't remember what they're called. Team whatevers.
Pit masters.
No, that's grill masters. Close though. I can't remember what it is.
Taking a guess.
Yeah, no, you're good. But yeah, I just love how they incorporated like actual racers into it. Max Verstappen was in it. Yeah. Like I don't know, I really liked it.
Yeah. I think to your point with like the story, I think it's exactly what you want a sports movie to be. Down like to everything. Like you bring me, the thing about it is it's exactly what it needs to be. It's exactly what it wants to be too. Movie's directed so well. All the performances are so good. Like I can't say enough like how good I think Brad Pitt is in this movie.
I loved Carrie Condon too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Carrie Condon.
So good. So fun, so flirty, so like serious when she needed to be. Like she was just great.
Well, and the script is good. The dialogue's good. Like when him and unnamed person are out on the balcony talking and he is talking about that silent moment. It's like there's so many times in our lives, I think, when we can relate to that with whatever we are passionate about and what we love to do. And it's like we feel it once and we're always searching for that feeling again. And when it ultimately, something happens and Javier Bardem just like, you can see him like tears in his eyes. I'm like, 5 out of 5 movie.
Yeah, I love Javier, bro. I love him.
I've cried the last 6 movies I've seen in theaters in a row.
Yeah, your review was good. I really liked Landon's review too.
Landon's was good.
It said, "Can't wait till F2 Baja Drift."
Even though he hated this one, so I don't know why he'd be waiting for the next one.
It's the worst.
He wasn't even excited to watch this one,
It was like, oh, that's so funny. It's good flick though. It's good flick.
No, it was a good time.
The cinematography, bro. Some of those shots that I just can't really get over. One of the ones that I liked that you get early on too in the film is the first race when they're going head to head and
the fireworks?
Yeah, well they're going head to head and it flips around and you're like watching them and the fireworks and like the sparks are shooting up in the background of it. Yeah. I'm like, "Oh, it's so sick." And then the camera work where it just keeps flipping to Brad Pitt and then the track. Oh yeah, I'm in. No. I would go see it tomorrow if it were out.
The movie's beautiful. If you can, see it in IMAX.
So get Brad Pitt in the next Top Gun.
Well, did you see they asked him if he would ever do a film with Tom Cruise?
And he just said
no. He said not until he stops doing what he's doing.
Until he stops skydiving.
Yeah.
He said. Well, what's funny too is it's like the whole interview where they were like, what would you think about Tom Cruise being in this movie? And what's his name? Joseph Kosinski, who directed it, was like, if Tom Cruise was in this movie, he would have died.
Yeah.
Like he would have pushed it over the edge. Because the thing about these F1 cars, and one thing that like, if you don't know F1 when you're watching the movie, it doesn't really show you that much. But like they're going like 200 and so odd miles per hour. Am I wrong?
Yeah, she says 353 kilometers per hour coming into a turn. Which I don't know what the exact.
Well, and that's why when they're like pressing their and sparks are flying, it's like the cars are moving so fast. That's why when you watch footage of F1, people are like, "This is so boring." Because if you're sitting on a track, you literally just see, like it's half a second. But it's like, dude, what was really cool is to see like in real time. It felt real to the point where you can actually see them like.
Well, they were driving the cars too.
Yeah.
I think it was you who said that he put over like 400 hours into the car, like driving the car.
Well, and it's incredible too because it's all shot in IMAX.
Yeah.
Like wide, tall
aspect
IMAX
ratio is
form.
beautiful.
All IMAX cameras. So there was no like with Sinners, right? You use the different cameras. This one's all IMAX cameras, and I think the reason they're able to do that is IMAX cameras. The reason you typically aren't able to shoot on those for the entire thing is because of how loud they are. This movie's pretty loud that I think it works for the entire time. I need to see it again.
Yeah, I want to see it
Heavy
again,
recommend.
definitely. It's 2.5 hours long also, and I didn't feel like I sat through a 2.5 hour movie.
No.
I was locked in.
Also, Slingshot engaged, dude. The amount of times I thought about Talladega Nights
Same.
when I was watching this
Yeah.
movie, and I was like, Slingshot, Slingshot. And it's like, that's cool that, you think about it, that's like actually a really like a race technique that people use a lot because
Yeah.
of the velocity from other cars and all this stuff.
Yeah, you're towing your partner,
Yeah.
so they're not taking on the wind. What I also loved too was like, if you follow F1, it's a movie that you're going to love. Like, you're going to love the movie if you follow F1. You're going to understand everything that's going on. Like, F1 drivers, a lot of times, they're paired in twos, like a team. And it's honestly kind of rare that you see them working together as a team.
Yeah.
And so what you get from the movie is, like, that struggle.
Yeah.
And I think it's fantastic. I don't know. I couldn't recommend this movie enough.
No. I think everyone should see it. I think it's fun for everyone. I think even kids can enjoy it, sort of thing.
Yeah, because cars go vroom. You know what I'm saying?
They do go vroom.
How did they not put Life as a Highway in there, though?
They should have put Life as a
4.5.
Highway when he was driving on the beach.
4.5. I'd love to go out on the Baja, though.
If they put Life is a Highway in that movie, you would have heard Seth out of nowhere. Life is a highway.
I would have broken all my rules.
Yeah.
I would have been like...
It's a sing-along now.
I would have gotten up. Life is a highway. I would be like, come on, everybody. The whole IMAX is, I've got to ride it all night long.
Yeah.
No, that's a banger.
Do you think
stuff.
we get a second one?
No. Costs way too much money.
Oh, dude, but if how
us
much
that
money
low
do you think they would
budget.
have to profit to green light a
I
second
thought it
one?
was 250 mil.
Is what it cost. So
That was the
if they
budget,
do,
I think.
if they do 500, do you think they could get a second one made?
I think, well, I just don't know if they'd want to do a second one.
No, dude, they need to do a second one where Damson Idris is just working dudes like Lightning McQueen. You know what I'm saying?
$300 million budget.
Total budget.
Let's see. The cost it's gonna, okay, 1 second. I'm actually pulling this up just so we can see. $300 million budget facing major financial pressure to exceed. So 300, I don't know if that's including, that could just be production budget.
Yeah, because they have the
But
marketing
it's like
budget and
Apple.
also.
I don't know if they'd want to make a second one. I don't know. That will just have to be.
Look, if they made a
See.
second one, I'm in. I just want them to keep making racing movies.
Me too.
Better movie, we talked about this a little bit before. Better movie, F1 or Gran Turismo.
I'm going to go with, I think F1.
Like, if you had the opportunity to watch one in IMAX tomorrow.
F1.
F1.
Gran Turismo, I think, is like you guys said, I think the story about it is cool.
It's a more compelling story.
Like,
True story.
some
Yeah.
random kid that's good at the video game becomes
Could be me.
an actual driver.
Could be me with Madden, you know?
I-
They're all of a sudden going to make me an offensive coordinator or something like that.
F1 is more of like, it truly is just like a crazy cinematic experience.
Yeah, I'm in.
Like, even if you don't like the story, like if you don't like the story, whatever you don't like you can't deny that it is like a movie that was made for the big screen. And by Apple, no less.
It's because Apple makes bangers.
I know they
Movies sometimes lack with Apple,
do.
but they have so much, like...
Oh, dude. Honestly,
Potential.
I'd let you put me in the seat to watch it again right now. I'm just thinking about
I would
it.
go back and watch it. I'd
I
start
would-
it over right now.
I'd start it over right now. No worries.
Just get me another Mountain Dew with raspberry in it.
Maybe a little bit of pop. Maybe a Donny.
If Megaplex just had the kettle corn from Cinemark,
Yeah, dude.
yeah.
Well, the
It'd
ones,
be-
the two other ones, and wherever West Jordan.
Oh yeah, West
they
Jordan
got it.
Legacy. But dude, here's the shit, right? So I went to the Regal the other day. got these Regal Unlimited passes. You know, me and my girlfriend, we're going to be seeing movies together. I didn't want to pay every single time we saw a movie together for her ticket. Respectfully.
I pay for Allie's movie pass.
See, so I got the Regal Unlimited because you can see unlimited movies. And I was like, oh, that's great. We went and saw Elio on Sunday. First of all, Elio, great movie. Worst opening for a Pixar movie ever, which I think is a shame because it's really good.
What pisses me off, sorry to interrupt your story. What pisses me off, and I don't agree with Cinema Joe very often. Often, I don't know. I don't know what it is. But he said in his review on TikTok of Elio, he said that everybody fake says they want new original movies, and then when a new original movie comes out, nobody sees it. But then they make a remake of Lilo and Stitch and a remake of How to Train Your Dragon, and they're making $300 million in the first week.
Yeah.
And it's because everybody just wants to see what they already know is good, and nobody's willing to take a risk to see a movie that they don't know what it's about.
Yeah.
And it's really annoying. Don't sit here and complain about movies just haven't been that good because they just keep remaking old stuff. Like, we don't need live action stuff. And then you're going to go see it anyway.
Yeah.
And you're going to see it multiple times.
Well,
and then they're going to make a new movie that you've never seen before, and you're not going to go see it.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, middle finger to everybody who says that.
Yeah.
And then won't go see it.
Did you get a new tattoo?
It's just a trial run. It's a fake one.
Okay.
I'm just testing out the placement.
Absolutely insane. I thought that was real, and I was like, you just didn't want to tell me? Like,
It might be
look,
real.
Brad Pitt's tattoos in that
Brad
movie
Pitt,
were
I
sick.
kept saying it in the freaking previews. Every time it was on screen,
Except
I was
he
like,
had that weird hot dog with like guns.
yeah,
I
but it was
really
kind of
like-
funny, and it was pointing at the scar.
Yeah,
I
but-
thought it was funny.
I'm in. But Elio.
Yeah, back to your story.
Elio,
Sorry.
I'm going to do a quick little review.
Wait,
Great
continue
Pixar-
your story, though, because
great
you were
Pixar
talking about...
movie.
you
Yeah,
guys,
we go to Regal.
yeah.
Whatever. Elio, 5 stars.
Tell us about the popcorn experience.
I get a popcorn large drink. First of all, they're fucking sponsored by Pepsi.
Just sad.
So I have to get a Diet Pepsi. I didn't know that till after I bought the
Did
drink.
they have Diet Mountain Dew?
No. They just had Mountain Dew. They didn't have
What's
Diet
up
Mountain
with not
Dew.
having Diet Mountain Dew anywhere?
And
bro?
I would have gotten Diet Mountain Dew because I'm not going to get Diet Pepsi if I have the choice between the two.
Yeah.
But so I get the Diet Pepsi, whatever. I get a large popcorn. The popcorn, dude, straight dog shit. I don't know what Regal's doing. Literally, you are a movie theater. You have one job. 2 jobs. Make the movie look and sound good. Those are combined. Have the actual movie run perfectly fine. All that. Make good popcorn. Those are the only 2 things you really need to have a great movie theater. Have you guys ever been to the Kaysville Theater?
The Dollar Theater?
The Dollar Theater.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of times.
Exactly. First of all, the Kaysville Theater. Family run, super small, busing popcorn. Smacks ass. The Regal, big chain. Oh, let's make some shit ass popcorn. Same with AMC. Shit ass popcorn. How about you step up your game, dude? Because I'm pissed. You know, I got this freaking Regal Unlimited. I'm booked in for 3 months. You literally stuck 2 fingers up my and you're just rubbing it. You're just rubbing it, but guess what? I don't get to.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm just pissed because you're buttering me up, but there's no. Oh, it's like, man, it's like getting without a condom or something. I'm
Yeah, I
just
thought that
pissed.
was supposed to be better.
Not in my.
Oh, okay.
But Regal, step it up, please. If any sponsors are out there that would like to sponsor the podcast, we are open. No, but thank you, Regal, for everything you do. Let's do 28 years later real quick.
Wait, do you think the username Cinema Ho is available?
You should check.
into that.
I
Yeah, you should
I'm just
check.
thinking Cinema Joe, Cinema Ho. Kind of nice. It sounds, when people say cinephile, it sounds super gross to me. And so I was just like, oh, Cinema Ho.
Oh, yeah.
They're like,
Cinephile does sound like an inappropriate.
yeah.
Well, because it's
Word.
file.
Yeah.
And when you hear file, all
You
think
just
is
think of
pedo.
yeah.
Yeah, you're watching weird.
You're a
Weird.
pervert.
Pedophilo.
Anyway,
You're a pervert.
I'm going to check on Cinema Ho.
Check on Cinema Ho. 28 years later. Let's do like a quick review of that.
How
and
long
then
have we been going?
30.
Oh, okay, sick.
We'll wrap it up after that. Jackson, 28 years later, Danny Boyle, Alex Garland were back after 28 days and 28 weeks. Cast, Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Sexy.
We have Jodie Comer, Ray Fiennes.
Sexy.
What's the kid's name?
I don't know, but he's freaking fantastic. You want me to pull up his name?
Yes, if you please would.
Dude, how's the guy that has Cinema Ho username has only logged 2 movies? And guess what movies they are?
What?
7 and Back to the Future.
I mean, hey,
Yeah, he's
great
definitely
movies.
tweaking out.
Yeah,
dude.
great movies, though.
He's the guy. He's one of those kids that was in our IMAX theater.
Yeah,
They
literally.
got high. They watched 7, and they're like, "Let's go watch another movie." So they watched Back to the Future.
Anyway, 28 years later, I think did Allie leave the review for it? That
She did.
Did she leave the one that was actually really funny?
What was it?
No. Okay. Hold on. Let's say this later into talking about this movie.
All right.
It's about the Alpha.
Yes.
Yeah.
So funny.
Nice.
I have a funny girlfriend.
Of course you.
Yeah, she's great. 28 years later, movie goes so incredibly hard.
It bangs.
5 stars for me. It's like levels beyond the first 2,
Yeah.
which makes sense, right? Also shot on an iPhone 15 Pro Max.
28 of them.
Yeah.
Well, not the whole thing. Like,
Yeah, but some of the
28
best
for 28 years.
some of the best sequences. Was it not all of them?
no,
The whole movie?
The entire thing wasn't shot, but most of the zombie sequences were.
Yeah, bro, freaking sick.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I'm the one that showed you guys that because I was like, look how sick this is.
Well, I had seen it before that, but you did send it to us, and I did appreciate that because it's always just nice to be reminded, you know? But anyway, storyline.
You're such a bitch, dude. Keep going. Storyline.
Storyline's so good. Starts off exactly how you would want it to start off. And, you know, father, son going out, killing zombies together. You get introduced to the Alpha, which we've never seen before. So intimidating. And you see his thing just swinging. As he's running, all you hear is... You know what I'm saying?
That's not what I heard.
Yeah,
but
it's just swinging.
Yeah, he got that piece on him, bro.
Yeah, bro. And then...
He has to get a permit to carry that shit in at least 3 states.
Literally. And then, halfway through the movie, little homie starts pissing me off. I was getting upset at him. Like, what are you doing, bro? But I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. But then I'm like, you're also an idiot. But then it takes this complete, like, almost 180 of what we started with. And has, like, one of the most beautiful messages you've ever seen in a movie. Probably not ever, but, like, it's up there.
Yeah.
And I almost enjoyed that second half even better than the first.
Yeah.
And I know that might be a hot take for a lot of people because the discourse that you see online with this movie is like one of the best movies of the year or this movie sucks. And I loved it. I loved it. I also loved the end, the very end scene. Thought it was sick.
It works.
I love it. I don't know. I'm a big fan of that movie. I'm going to go see it again tomorrow night.
Here's what's different between this one and the like other two is this one is really fast paced until like the third act and then it slows down. Then has like a really crazy ending. But I love the slow moments in this movie. Everything with Ray Fiennes is 10 out of 10.
Yeah, my guy Ralph.
Ralph Fiennes.
Yeah.
I'd like to apologize. But Jodie Comer is so good. And I cried. I cried, man. And Aaron Taylor Johnson too. The last scene you see with him is heartbreaking, dude. Oh, I was like, oh my gosh, you know he just loves so deeply, but that's
Alfie Williams is the kid's name.
Alfie
by the way.
Williams. So good. Carries the movie.
Yeah.
On his back, no crumbs left. Landon?
I think my favorite thing is as someone who played Left 4 Dead for years,
We need
it
to get
felt
back
like
into
they
that.
incorporated some of these zombies into it.
Yeah.
Just with like the boomer with like the big fat ones, you know.
Yeah.
And then you had some of the other guys, but like that felt really fun and they actually felt scary. My biggest thing with zombie stuff is most of the times I'm not scared of the zombies at all.
Yeah.
Walking
like,
Dead,
yeah.
I will kill you all because you're slow. And like a lot of other ones, I'm like, these aren't scary, but these guys, even the fat ones, kind of scary.
Well, because they're like, yeah, dude, they're fat. Well, what? Fats are scary, dude.
No, I'm just saying, but like
that's
that
insane.
scene where like
It's an
they
epidemic.
see them and then they all start like charging, I was like, oh crap.
Yeah.
Like this is actually scary.
No, 100%. Well, and there's a certain way that certain zombies kill people. And I leaned over to Len and I go, dude, Left 4 Dead for sure. Like,
Yeah.
It reminds me of that so much. And one thing I really like about this movie is I was talking to someone and they asked, are they slow zombies or fast zombies? I go, that's the best part is they've got so many different types. It's not just like one type of zombie. Another thing I love about this series is that the infection is completely isolated, so the rest of the world's still living.
Yeah, the scene when he's talking to
The soldier,
yeah, what's his name? Eric
Eric,
or something
who
like
comes
that.
over and like he shows him a picture of his girlfriend on his iPhone. He goes, "What the
His
hell is
ex-fiance.
this?" His ex-fiance, exactly. And the movie just it works. That's another movie. I'm seeing it again tomorrow. I'm really excited to see that.
Well, I was gonna ask about that, which I don't think we really talked about it after we saw it. But like, are they just choosing to stay where they are and not like
They can't get out.
They're quarantined.
Yeah, they're quarantined in.
like? But you would think like the military or someone could just come in and just eliminate every single zombie and be like, you guys are free now.
Well, that's what they tried to do in the second one. Did you watch that one yet?
No.
Yeah, that's what they tried to do in the second one. They had like a military quarantine zone
Wasn't
in
that
it.
when someone was infected and then
They
entered
brought them
and
in.
then killed them?
Yeah,
Like,
they brought in an
That was,
infected
like,
person
ultimately
and then
the thing.
yeah.
Well, and it's
well, I mean,
like
just give me like helicopters of just like you could do.
Yeah, give me an attack helicopter.
well, yeah.
give me the
but
Death
thing
Star
about
from
it-
Fortnite and let me shoot down on them hoes.
That's facts. The thing that's tough about that though is like, and this is kind of the weird thing with a zombie infection, like a zombie virus, and why I like this series and why it is isolated and quarantined is there's always, and 28 weeks later, this is basically what happens, right? Is like, yeah, the military can come in, do their thing. There's always the risk. How do you for sure know? And more so than that, they save everyone. All those people go back to living their lives. Like, how do we know that like the virus isn't going to spread to one of them some other way, right?
Yeah,
Like,
or like they already have it, but it's just dormant.
in the air, right?
Yeah.
Well, and that's why I love like this one especially, where it's like, yeah, the rest of the world's doing their thing. I would like to see a movie though, where like maybe in the next one or, you know, one of the next two in this trilogy they have planned, where like other countries get involved, like really get involved. They're like, we're going in. But they already have soldiers. Like they have soldiers on the
I
ground.
mean, I'm sure the U.S. will get involved because they just like getting involved in stuff that they shouldn't.
They do.
So.
And then they, especially like when 24 hours later, everyone's like doing a ceasefire. So the one who is literally the most problematic and screws everyone over gets to say that he did it.
Yeah.
And he's the king. And then just because the one thing he wants more than anything in the world is a Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah.
And then in 4 or 5 years, I guarantee he gets it.
Yeah.
But like, we're just talking about movies.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's like the plot of the movie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no one
like,
in the U.S. like no.
Thinking
maybe-
about that though, he looks like the big fat zombies, low key.
Maybe that's who they modeled it after. They just took
I
his
mean,
toupee off.
give me like side by side.
Yeah, they just took his toupee off, and they were like, yeah.
Maybe for the short, just throw it up, just let us see him. Okay, wait. I was gonna ask. You're in that situation, right?
Zombies, yeah.
Zombies. No guns. No guns.
Zombies, yeah.
Yeah. No guns. What's your weapon of choice?
I get any gun besides a weapon.
No,
I
no.
have a choice besides
Yeah,
a gun.
no
Yes.
guns. Weapon of choice.
I mean, you have to go. Do I just one weapon? Just one. You have to go bow and arrow.
I'm not.
Well, you got to think though.
Crossbow.
Like, no, crossbows take longer to load than a bow and arrow.
That's true. But also, I can't. What if I miss with the bow and arrow when something's running?
What if you miss with the crossbow? If you miss with the bow and arrow, you're gonna miss with the crossbow. You're just
That's
not
not
him.
true, bro. I got them fingies.
You're
How
not
do you think
Legolas, bro.
What-
But
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, because what
What
are you
if I
gonna? What are
am?
you gonna pick? A sword?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like
I was thinking about a samurai
I was thinking
sword.
about a sword too, but what are you going to do against the freaking there's 10 zombies around you and then an alpha coming at you too?
Well,
You're just going to stand your
You
ground and start
you have to
swinging?
shoot the alpha 10, 12 times before it even
Let's be
stops.
Yeah,
clear,
so you're
bro.
telling me that what are you going to try and do?
If
Cut his
there's-
head off?
Yeah.
He's going to catch your
You're
freaking
gonna try
blade.
that, but here's the
My
thing.
blade's
if,
going through his hand.
if there's an alpha there and you have a bow and arrow, Jackson, respectfully, the alpha's getting you too. The alpha's getting any of us. If the alpha shows up,
Not 'cause I-
gong out, he's
No.
killing us, bro.
Yes,
If
but
I
if
can
he's
slice that
if
thing
I can
off-
hit him with 10 arrows, he's going down.
How far out are you shooting?
dude.
I don't know.
what
Do you
if
want me to look up how far a bow and arrow can shoot?
You're not
What if
shooting
you
that
could,
far.
like-
If it's the only thing that I have and that's what I'm trained with, I'm shooting as far as it
Yeah,
can go.
That's fair. What if you could just use the power of seduction, and the alpha?
No, didn't
just
like that at
saying-
all.
Yeah, I'm gonna
just
cut it.
saying,
Yeah.
I'm not sitting out in the open just hoping that I can shoot him. I'm getting inside somewhere where I got back to something.
What about
this is
flamethrower?
no, that's
That's
we're
a
not
that's a
ballerina.
gun. Yeah.
That's a gun.
Yeah, that's
I
like
mean-
similar to a gun.
Look, I
You can
played-
create Molotov cocktails.
Unlimited.
Not unlimited, but you can make if you have the supplies. It's like Left 4 or
Last of Us.
The Last of Us.
If you have the supply.
If you have the supply to make it.
Look, I'm just saying, Left 4 Dead strategy. Never be out in the open.
Yeah, no,
You
no,
gotta
no,
be
I get
back
that.
to something so you know nothing's coming from behind, and then I could just let them file in and just be slicing.
Slicing and dicing.
I get that, but I also think that you are underestimating how hard it would take to cut through an alpha like that.
Do you know what their skin is made of? Are we talking like rhino alpha?
No,
Or
but I'm like,
what's
what
it-
do you have a freshly sharpened
Yeah, if I
samurai
just came
sword?
from my camp and I'm out there, that thing's gonna be sharp. I'm not running around with a dull
just-
blade.
What if you don't have the tools to sharpen it?
Are you serious? If you have the tools, why would I not have the tools to sharpen it?
Because you just might not. I don't know. You just might not. But you can always scavenge for new stuff to make bow and arrows. You can chip rocks for the arrowheads. I watch the dude on TikTok do it all the time.
Another thing too, those kids are running out there, and how many arrows you got in your little
Like 30.
holster? 30?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got 30 shots.
Yeah,
That's
but
it.
why
Then
can't
you
I
run
just-
out? You're screwed.
Why can't I just use them like Legolas does?
Okay, you're gonna put it in and pull it out on every single one.
Well, not with the bow in my hand, but maybe I've got 2 arrows in my hands and I'm just stabbing hoes.
Okay, or I got 2 katanas and I'm just slicing everything.
Yeah, but then everything you're doing is close range.
And I'm faster than
That's
them.
dangerous. You don't know you don't know that. You do not know that. Did you not see that alpha hawk them down on that passage?
I did. But also,
And didn't you see Aaron Taylor Johnson booking it?
look,
and all of them were catching
respectfully-
up. He kept having to turn around to
respectfully,
shoot at him.
I'm more athletic than him.
Did you see Craven
And
the
that
Hunter?
kid. Did you see that? That's not a real
Craven
movie.
The Hunter. Well, did you?
I didn't, but I'm still more
yeah, you
athletic
ain't-
than him.
Look, bro, you cooked. Here's all I'm trying to say. 28 years later, great flick. What was Allie's review?
Oh, Allie, we're in the car ride home. We're talking about that Alpha Dong. And Allie goes, movie should have been named 28 Inches Later.
Oh yeah, dude,
Yeah.
that's a great bit.
Yeah,
That's a great
hilarious.
I'm
I'm telling you, that thing was,
Yep, it was big.
yeah.
It did make me feel better to realize it was all prosthetics.
Yeah, because, like, imagine having a hog that big.
How does one survive? Especially a soft hog.
That thing was literally 13 inches soft.
They need to remake Wild Hogs with Tim Allen and all those guys, and,
And
just
just
have
give
that,
them that
have them
prosthetic.
be riding on that prosthetic.
That's
bro.
crazy.
Woo, 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 woo. William H. Macy. Okay, well, cool. 5 stars, 4.5.
Mm-hmm.
See a trend.
No, it's just my only reason for 4.5 is like the ending took me out. It was really cool, but I was like, what? And also, what's the guy's name?
Sir Jimmy Crystal?
Yeah, Jimmy.
What?
Which guy?
No, the guy at the end that's from Sinners.
Jimmy.
Oh, his
His
actual,
actual
name?
name.
It's Jack O'Connell.
Jack. Okay, he reminded me so much of the Righteous Gemstones. That one guy. You know who I'm talking about? That I couldn't shake it. I was like, oh, he looks too much like this guy. It's throwing me off.
It really is like the craziest ending to a movie ever. It's
And
one of them.
It
I've
was
seen
so
a-
fun though. You
Oh,
guys,
I loved it.
No,
Yeah.
it was really cool, but I've seen a lot of people that are like, "Oh, the Americans won't get this. This is a British thing," and obviously I didn't get
well,
it.
yeah. It's just because of the Jimmy Crystal backstory. But like, you don't have to get that because I didn't
No,
understand
but I
that
was
until
like,
I looked into it after the movie.
Yeah.
But
But even then, you don't have to understand it to like just have
enjoy,
fun
enjoy
with
the
it.
movie.
It's
I
like
love
it's literally
the
the reason
that.
I liked it is it genuinely is just like a Power Rangers scene.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me
Like
of.
it's just like a Power Ranger scene from the '90s, and I was so in.
No, it was really cool, but I was just like, "Whoa, that just completely changed like the tone."
Yeah, I respect that. Okay, let's wrap this thing up because it is late. Those are two great movies. F1, 28 years later. We recommend them both deeply. I recommend Elio. And thank you guys so much.
Hold on, wait. I want to ask real quick though, before we end.
Okay.
Is Sinner still the best movie of the year?
Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure we're on
Is
the
it
same
yours?
page. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
What early number 2? What are you guys thinking for your second favorite?
Early number 2? Well,
Like just off the dome right now.
I have no idea.
If you say The Surfer, I will walk off
no.
this podcast
I was
set right
I
now.
was genuinely either going to say Ballerina or 28 Days Later.
I think I might put F1 ahead of both of those.
I need to see it one more time. But it's top 5 for
Yeah.
sure. But F1 it's such a cinematic experience. I might put it too.
This movie and to all the people out there who are like, this year's kind of sucked for movies.
Yes, shut
up.
up.
Shut up.
Enjoy movies for once, dude.
I'm going on tour.
Shut the up.
Oh, is that your number 2?
I'm going on tour. I gotta catch a flight. No, I'm on a tour. I gotta catch a flight. No, is it? I gotta catch a flight. I'm on tour.
I think
on
that's
the weekend.
Yeah,
Shut the
he's got to
fuck
catch a flight
But
on
it's
the
like-
weekend.
It's like shut up, shut the fuck up.
Shut up. Shut
I'm
up.
trying to be nice to you.
Yeah.
That's a great movie. Hurry up tomorrow.
That
That's your
movie,
number
honestly,
2.
one of my favorite movie theater experiences.
I had more fun in that movie than I have a lot of the time.
Yeah, that was a good time.
Fair.
And like,
What's your number 2 though, Lan? Wait one second.
Oh, it might be Ballerina.
Ballerina goes so hard, bro.
So hard, dude.
Oh, we were talking, me and Allie were talking to her parents about Ballerina. It's like, you guys should go see it, but I don't know if they would like the language. But
Honestly,
Do they
the
swear a
language is
lot?
not that bad, dude.
I don't
fair.
remember them
They're-
swearing.
I mean,
would-
it's not as bad as like the John Wick.
I think maybe 15 F words at most.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah, you're right. My bad.
which is really is like 0.
yeah, pretty much. Like anything less than 30 is like pretty much 0.
Yeah. I think, yeah, Ballerina busts hard. That movie's awesome. Yeah, movies are good, dude. What you said we should see movies late at night.
Yeah, we
so
should see
there's
movies
no one
later and just book theaters that are empty so we can talk to each other like we talked during the freaking
But the
Unless
thing
I
about-
really want to watch it.
yeah.
Let's wrap this bitch up. I'm Seth, Source19 on Letterboxd. That's Landon, Lando Pete on Letterboxd. That's Jackson, Jax Pete on Letterboxd.
Gang.
We really
Gang,
enjoyed
gang, gang,
F1.
gang.
We really enjoyed 28 Years Later, and I think, yeah, no other new movies this weekend.
I have a quick last. We didn't talk about our favorite actors.
Next week.
So we got to do that next week.
Next week.
Yeah.
That's the topic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Love you all.
Bye.
Peace.